yellow Aqualogica sunscreen is a favorite amongst my friends and family. The formula is lightweight and really easy to use in Indian weather. But for some reason, I always thought that all the Aqualogica sunscreens probably perform the same. To test my completely baseless theory, I decided to try all of the Aqualogica sunscreens consecutively for 7 days in a week and see how they all compare. I found a couple of hidden gems and one nightmare of a sunscreen, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Starting with the one I know best, the Glow Plus Dewy Lightweight Sunscreen Gel SPF 50 PA4+ with papaya and vitamin C. It has a stiff gel-like texture that breaks really watery on the skin. The main filters are oxybenzone and avobenzone, so watch out if you're allergic or sensitive to those. This is 4K footage in natural light, and as you can see, it's a very skin-like normal looking finish. Okay, time to reapply. Reapplications are usually a lot less precise because I kind of lose interest in sunscreening by the middle of the day. Once again, applying the sunscreen felt very cooling. The hair in my eye. Okay, so here's what it looks like. A little bit blowier than the first time when I applied it. I have sunscreen in my eyelashes. It does feel a bit more oily in this area though than it did earlier. Here are my thoughts about the sunscreen in a nutshell in case you want to screenshot it. And was it still my favorite at this point? Obviously, I hadn't tried anything as yet. The next day I tried their pink bottled sunscreen.
Sunscreen number 2, the Radiance Dewy Sunscreen with watermelon and niacinamide.
It's supposed to illuminate and hydrate because it has a little bit of niacinamide in it, though it's not at a very high percentage. I'm hoping that it could be soothing for my redness. Yeah, so let's put it on. Okay. 4. Okay, now that I feel it in comparison to yesterday's sunscreen, the yellow one, it's a lot lighter. It's much more watery and it doesn't have any distinct smell other than, that normal sunscreen smell. The main filters are Suncat DE, an encapsulated form of the same organic filters that were in the previous sunscreen, and Parsol TX, which is titanium dioxide coated in dimethicone and silica. Both these filters are aimed to be gentle on the skin. This is what it looks like on the skin. Not very dewy, not very matte. Again, it's a very skin-like finish, just like well-moisturized skin, not very dewy. It doesn't feel as cooling as yesterday's sunscreen, but it feels very nice. Let's go ahead and put that next layer on. The original layer feels like almost nothing on my face now. It's a little bit dry, honestly, on the cheeks where I don't have as much oil production. So if you have oily skin, you're definitely going to like this. Kind of like a hydrating serum. No nostril sunscreen, no eyelid or eyebrow sunscreen. Okay, we're good. I thought it was a lot less shiny, but then when I went to the bathroom, it was a lot shinier. So I definitely think that this is shinier than the yellow one. Burns my skin a little less than yesterday's sunscreen did. Here's my little report card. You'll notice it has a teensy bit of a white cast, so if you have a deep skin tone, watch out for that. Did it beat the yellow sunscreen? No, because it wasn't moisturizing enough for me, though I love the dewier finish. Okay, it's day 3. Today I'm going to be trying the Illuminate and Dewy sunscreen that comes in the purple bottle with the pink cap. I think this is the most girly and cute packaging out of all of the sunscreens they have in their line, and the only one with the color at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. This, once again, is a lot runnier than the first one and the second one. So let's see. This, once again, is a chemical sunscreen with oxybenzone, avobenzone. It doesn't feel cooling, but it does feel hydrating. It doesn't smell weird or anything. It just smells pretty normal. Again, a very skin-like finish. I'm sensing like a common theme amongst all the sunscreens. I think they decided that no Indian is going to want a very rich and creamy, oily sunscreen. So when I say Illuminate or Hydrate or whatever, it's going to be within the spectrum of light sunscreens and not thick sunscreens that are meant for dry skin and harsh weather. Alright, this is a reapplication of the purple sunscreen. It feels actually a little bit more moisturizing than the previous 2 sunscreens I tried. And it's also the most liquidy and easiest to spread and blend. I think it also has the most dewy finish. I actually really enjoy this formulation.
Here's my sunscreen summary. It's a very light skin feel with a very dewy finish, which is a rare combination to find. It felt a little more moisturizing on the skin, and for that reason, it replaced the yellow as my new favorite.
Hello, it is PMS week, so my skin is a lot worse.
But the experiment continues.
We're using the red bottle today, the tomato flavor with hyaluronic acid, and it's supposed to be dewy.
And it's a fully chemical sunscreen, just something to look out for if you have allergies or sensitivities.
This is a lot more gel-like, I would say. I don't see it running down my hand like the purple one.
This sunscreen is a lot thicker and more cushiony than the previous sunscreens in the range. I really love it because it's hard to find sunscreens that offer a combination of thick but also fresh.
It doesn't burn or sting around the eyes. Though I need to give you a small disclaimer. Just because it doesn't burn around my eyes doesn't mean it definitely won't burn around yours. I can only tell you what my experience has been. Yeah. Direct sunlight.
This has a moderately dewy finish on first application. My thoughts after reapplying?
I have to say, even though it feels a lot more moisturizing than the other sunscreens, it still gives me that cooling sensation.
It's a pretty dewy finish. If your skin is dry and you want to feel moisturized without feeling heavy, this might be for you.
I think the Earth Rhythm one would come very close. Their good old one in the orange tube, that one.
Here's all the details about this sunscreen, and I guess I have a preference for things that feel much more moisturizing and cushioning on the skin because the red sunscreen actually replaced the purple one as my new favorite.
It's time for sunscreen number 5, the green bottle that says Hydrate, Dewy Sunscreen, coconut water and hyaluronic acid. To be honest with you, I have not been very good today. It's already 2 p.m. by the time I'm putting sunscreen on for the first time. Also, this formula is pretty stiff. It does not run down my hand. This definitely feels creamier than the other sunscreens that I've used so far.
Once again, a hybrid sunscreen. It has titanium dioxide, suncat DE and zinc oxide, but in reverse proportion to the pink sunscreen. On first application, this sunscreen is very refreshing and cooling, and when it dries down, it feels a little bit tacky, which makes me feel like it would be a good makeup primer.
This formula, pink bottle and the yellow bottle feel similar. Oh, it's so refreshing to put this on, dude. It feels really cooling and watery when you put it on. If you have trouble reapplying your sunscreen on sunny days, anything with a texture like this is definitely going to encourage you to be consistent with applying it. In the sun, your skin starts to heat up and feel really stuffy, and a lot of sunscreens can feel overtly stuffy on top of that when you reapply it. But this one is not like that. I'm telling you, like once you apply this, it feels so cooling and refreshing, at least for that initial few moments. I like it.
Here's my experience with the sunscreen summarized into a little clip. The red one is still my favorite, but they're both very similar.
Sunscreen number 6, their barrier repair sunscreen. It's got some zinc oxide in it, but at a low percentage, so I'm hoping it will lightly soothe the skin. It's also got some ceramides in it. It's also got xylitol and a few other amino acids that help in rebuilding your skin barrier. If I remember correctly while swatching it, it was a very smooth texture, and as someone with sensitive skin, I'm really looking forward to this one. I hope it really feels soothing. Alright, here's what it looks like. Oh, it is pretty runny. Oh, my hand already feels cold. I feel like it's gonna feel nice on the skin.
The main filters are octinoxate, avobenzone and octocrylene, so it's a chemical sunscreen with barrier supportive ingredients.
I may have used a little bit too much. Give me a moment.
The skin finish of this sunscreen is very dewy, and it definitely has that characteristic cooling, refreshing feeling.
Still dealing with breakouts. PMS is a bitch. I feel like my entire face becomes grey when I'm PMSing. Do you guys feel that way too? I feel like after application, the sensation of using it is not too different from any of the other sunscreens I've used so far from this line. Once it dries down, that cooling sensation wears off and I feel warm again. Reapplying ceramide sunscreen. Compared to the previous packagings I've been using, I prefer this type of tube packaging. I don't really understand why they're still selling 50 ml sunscreen quantities in like that airless pump. I feel like it's a little bit wasteful.
Anyway, this is the glowy, glassy finish it leaves. I really love this sunscreen. It was so soothing and dewy and fresh feeling on the skin, and it makes your skin feel moisturized and plump. And so, this actually turned out to be my favorite. But wait, I told you I found a nightmare of a sunscreen, didn't I? We're gonna end with that one because actually
the bright tone-up sunscreen, blueberry and kojic acid. When I was buying this online, I felt so excited because I thought this might be like a Korean style sunscreen that like makes you look really bright. But after doing that finger swatch, the way it ran and the way it smelled, oh, I'm not looking forward to putting it on my face. It smells like dosa batter or like something fermented. Like I have to be so careful to open it vertically and then just, like I've already made a mess of the front where I have to pour it in like this. Okay. I think the right packaging for this, by the way, would have been like one of those hard tube dispensers like the Wish Care sunscreen.
The main filters are a lot of new generation ones like Juvenile A and Juvenile T. The reviews online were overwhelmingly positive. A lot of people really liked this, but I really can't understand why. Maybe I got a bad batch or something. And it looks like the more I blend, the whiter it gets. That's the only explanation I can come up with because given the caliber of the other sunscreens in this line, I have no idea how this experience made it out of R&D.
After what feels like an eternity of rubbing the product into my skin, I have finally applied it and here's what it looks like. It does not give you that cooling sensation. I also don't think it gave me any brightening effects, which is what a tone-up sunscreen is supposed to do. I guess if you use it over a long duration of time, maybe the kojic acid will do something, but I would prefer to just use a kojic acid serum. Oh my god, you guys, when I was rubbing it in, I didn't notice, but after I came and looked in the mirror, I can see that it's dried down, but there's like a lot of streaky patches all over. It does not blend in smoothly at all. And I rubbed it in a lot. I really thought that it was like set into my skin. But here it is. I'm gonna smell like this all day. Then I have to put it on again. I have tried a different approach while reapplying this sunscreen. I spread it around as much as I could. I'm gonna let it set for a second and then rub the rest in to see if I can smooth out that white streaky cast that was happening. Yeah, that doesn't work. Look at this. Oh, it's pilling. Please save your money. Do not buy this thinking that it's gonna be a tone-up sunscreen like those viral Instagram videos where suddenly it becomes like this milky pale shade of their own skin. My husband is keeping a 5-meter radius away from me because it stinks so badly. And I'm not usually picky about fragrance-free products, especially because fragrance tends to break me out. If you are wondering if I have something under this sunscreen that is causing this pilling, I don't. I put it on bare skin. So
here are my summed up thoughts, and I forgot to mention it feels very greasy. If we compare how heavy all the sunscreens feel on the skin, the purple and blue one come out as the lightest texture, the most watery ones, and the dark blue one comes out the most heavy and oily feeling on the skin. The yellow, green and red ones are very similar and you can select them based on how you want it to look on your skin once you're done applying. And I've lined up that information here. Interestingly, the purple and the pink one that felt the lightest on the skin actually have the most dewy finish. There's nothing that provides a very mattifying finish out of this line of sunscreens, but the yellow and the blue ones are the most skin-like finishes. Of course, you could always mattify using a powder, so you can just select a sunscreen that feels right to you. My name is Sam. I hope you thought this video is not too shabby and you found it helpful. Please subscribe so that I can see your face again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.